If you were a fan of songs like Lockdown in Heaven or Uptown Funk, you definitely remember the hold that Bruno Mars had over music in the mid-2010s. However, it seemed like the singer-songwriter, also known as Peter Hernandez, completely disappeared after his 24K Magic Tour. Mars enjoyed incredible success in his career until one of his biggest hits, Uptown Funk, became the subject of much controversy. Although the collaboration with Mark Ronson dominated the charts and earned him praise, it resulted in multiple lawsuits for copyright infringement. In recent years, Mars has appeared to step back from the limelight. The hit track Uptown Funk was released in 2014, and it went on to earn incredible success. According to Rolling Stone, it remained on the Billboard Hot 100 for 14 weeks, which is an impressive feat indeed. Mars collaborated on the song with Mark Ronson, and both of them were later named in lawsuits, with 80s group Collage alleging similarities between their song Young Girls, which was released in 1983. The lawsuit states via Rolling Stone, many of the main instrumental attributes and themes of Uptown Funk are deliberately and clearly copied from Young Girls. They were also accused of copyright infringement by Minder Music on behalf of Gap Band for similarities to their song Oops, Upside Your Head, although Rolling Stone notes that this claim did not go to court then. NME reports that La Strada Entertainment also filed a lawsuit against Mark Ronson for alleged infringement of Roger and Zapp's More Bounce to the Ounce track. This lawsuit was later dropped. In 2018, Mars and Ronson made headlines again. This time, it was reported that they had settled one of 3 lawsuits against them for Uptown Funk. They had come to an agreement with Collage. At the time, TMZ reported that a source had told them there was no financial component to the settlement. You may think that the legal headaches were over for Bruno Mars and Mark Ronson, having previously made agreements to settle the issues with infringement. But that's not entirely true because Uptown Funk is still making headlines for the wrong reasons. In 2023, it made headlines again, this time for BMG allegedly refusing to pay Gap Band royalties. This is despite an agreement being made in 2015, and according to Rolling Stone, the members of the band, Robert and Ronnie Wilson, were given co-writer credits on the song. The other member of the band, their brother, Charlie Wilson, is reportedly not part of the lawsuit. It is believed that Mars and Ronson were not involved in this new lawsuit. The new lawsuit is reported to have been made by the family of the Wilson brothers. No papers have yet been served on BMG, so it is difficult to comment. What we can say is that previous litigation attempts by the plaintiffs have been thrown out of court, and we are confident of our position. We will be in a better position to state our case if and when papers are served, a spokesman for BMG told Rolling Stone. As you may already know, Mars is a talented musician who has had many big hits throughout his career. Some fans even believe his music has inspired other musicians, including Miley Cyrus. But he has been a bit quieter in recent years. His album 24K Magic was released in 2016, and he would not release another album until 5 years later, this time as Silk Sonic. Mars is an exceptionally talented musician who has penned multiple tracks of his own, so his return to the industry with a new album was met with great excitement. However, the fallback from his lawsuits is unlikely because he took the time to return to making music. Also, the legal dealings involving the singer are believed to have been settled. He did try a different direction with his music though, joining rapper Anderson .Paak to form Silk Sonic. The two are also really good friends. They released their album An Evening with Silk Sonic in 2021. That same year, Mars requested that the Grammys let them perform, taking to Twitter to share a message. Dear Grammys, if you can see it in your hearts to allow 2 out-of-work musicians to perform at your show, we would really appreciate it. We just released a song and could really use the promotion right now, he wrote. In 2022, the Grammy winner made headlines again for his music with Silk Sonic. This time, it was to announce that they were not putting their album forward for 2023 Grammy consideration. It is a surprising move considering they did really well at the 2022 Grammys, with NME outlet noting they won Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Best R&B Performance, and Best R&B Song for their track, Leave the Door Open. But why the change of direction in the first place? In an interview with Apple Music's Zane Lowe, Mars spoke about the collaboration and how enjoyable it was to make music with Paak. He said, "And we kept coming up with music. It felt like why you fall in love with music in the first place, and jamming with your buddy. There's no plan, just working out the parts and trying to excite each other. That's why this wouldn't happen if it didn't make sense and it didn't feel natural and organic. This was a series of events that led us to, man, why don't we just do it? Despite the group's success, some fans have questioned Mars's decision to form Silk Sonic. While he has continued to enjoy musical success, perhaps the most telling thing about the collaboration is just how much the singer loves the music he is creating now. It's just that we feel our purpose is this. We need to light up a stage, put the fear of God in anyone performing before us or after us, and bring so much joy to the people we're in front of and the people listening, Mars told Rolling Stone in a 2021 interview. Especially in times like the one we're in right now. For me, I know I wasn't listening to any depressing music. We're already in a weird spot, so to try to get in there, no, I want the escape. Given their interviews together, they also appear to have a lot of fun and connect as musicians. This is important, as it will influence their sound. The group formation would start as early as 2017 after the meeting on a tour of Europe, but it would not be until 2021 when they would make things official. Taking to Instagram, Mars shared the news. "We locked in and made an album. The band's called Silk Sonic," he wrote in February 2021. And then, they released an album, An Evening with Silk Sonic. Their lead single was Leave the Door Open. Mars said of their album in an interview with Apple Music, "We needed this to work. We just wanted it to feel special instead of trying to get too cute with the concept. It's like, man, what's more special than Anderson .Paak behind a drum set singing a song, and me having his back when it's my turn, you know? And the band moving in the same direction, it was just like, it's like a musician's dream, being in the studio recording a song like that." As mentioned earlier, there was some buzz around it, with the duo initially submitting it for Grammy consideration, but later withdrawing it. "We truly put our all on this record, but Silk Sonic would like to gracefully, humbly, and most importantly, suely bow out of submitting our album this year," Mars said of their decision. "We hope we can celebrate with everyone on a great year of music and partake in the party. Thank you for letting Silk Sonic thrive." So, to say that Mars's decision to go from a solo artist to a duo was a bad idea is not true. Variety notes that the group was nominated for 4 Grammy Awards in 2022 and won all of them. Not only this, but they also got to perform. Award shows aside, their album has received critical praise. In a past interview, Paak also shared what it was like working with Mars. "A lot of people do collabs these days, but I don't think they understand what it's like to go in and get work with someone that's challenging everything," he said. Like, did we do this right? Did we do this right? Should we try this right? You know, for me, a lot of it is about having fun, but he was really the first person, the first period of bringing it to my attention that sometimes you gotta go through hell to get heaven. But despite having a legion of fans across the globe, some people have raised concerns about the singer. Back in 2021, the singer spoke out against those who claimed that he is profiting off black culture and is a culture thief in a Breakfast Club interview with host Charlemagne the God. The 24K Magic singer has repeatedly been accused of appropriating black music despite not being a black man himself. Mars, whose real name is Peter Jean Hernandez, was born to a Filipina mother and a father who is half Puerto Rican and half Jewish. During the interview, Charlemagne told the Grammy Award-winning artist, "People love to accuse you of being a cultural thief, which I find interesting because you are a person of color. What would you say to those people?" Mars responded to the host by acknowledging his influences, which were mainly prominent black artists. "I would say, you can't look at an interview. You can't find an interview where I'm not talking about the entertainers that come before me," Mars shared. "And the only reason why I'm here is because of James Brown, is because of Prince, Michael Jackson. That's the only reason why I'm here. This music comes from love," he concluded. "And if you can't hear that, then I don't know what to tell you." He went on to add that the criticism he is facing comes with the gig, but that there's real merit to what people are saying about black entertainers not getting their flowers. This wasn't the first time Mars had to defend himself against cultural appropriation claims. The accusations first began in 2018 when an activist by the name of Seren Sensei accused the star of being a cultural appropriator, according to CNN. However, several black artists, including Stevie Wonder, have come to his defense. When asked his opinion, Wonder simply said, "He was inspired by great musicians and great artists and songwriters. So, it's cool." Born in an artistic family on the exotic island of Hawaii, Mars is a talented jack-of-all-trades kind of singer whose showmanship celebrates the height of the old 1970s and 1980s R&B. The Silk Sonic crooner is a proud recipient of 15 Grammy Award wins thanks to his various albums and collaborations throughout the years, and he's not showing any sign of slowing down. However, there are still many untold stories from Bruno Mars's pre-fame life that many casual fans may have never heard. From his Hawaii upbringing to how he got his stage name to when he DJ'd for $75 in Los Angeles, there is a lot about the singer that his fans deserve to know. Before he was Bruno Mars, young Peter Hernandez began his show business at the age of 2 when he became the world's youngest Elvis impersonator. Inspired by his uncle, who was also an Elvis impersonator, he slowly made his way to local stardom by performing with his family band called the Love Notes, specializing in doo-wop and music from the 50s. He told Rolling Stones in a 2013 cover story, "I would look forward to getting out of school, just looking at the clock, waiting for it to hit 2:15. During that period, Mars, age 6, had a cameo role in Sarah Jessica Parker's Honeymoon in Vegas as a tiny Elvis. In the same year, Pauly Shore of MTV also interviewed the young star. His brother, Eric, was also a talented musician, and he left his 10-year career as a police officer to carry on the family's musical tradition. While in high school, Mars's popularity skyrocketed to the point where he would perform gigs as Michael Jackson and other artists' impersonations, making $75 for each show. A natural heartbreaker, he was also popular with the ladies and even dated his backup singer when he was 16. "After that, I walked around the halls like I was Frank Sinatra," he told Rolling Stone about his rendition of Genuine's Pony in that show where teachers yelled at him for singing along to the word horny. He added, "I was like, okay, I'm not just an impersonator. I can also impersonate Genuine." Fresh off the boat after graduating from high school, 17-year-old Mars relocated to Los Angeles, California to take his singing career seriously. Mike Lynn, who was the head of A&R at Dr. Dre's Aftermath Entertainment at the moment, told him to come after Mars' sister gave him his demo tape. He adopted the stage name Bruno Mars to further avoid being stereotyped as a Latino singer. Shortly after, he signed with Motown Records, but the deal went sour, and he eventually got dropped from the label not a year later. "I might have cried. I might have shed some tears," he recalled, adding, "You definitely have those nights where you feel a little insecure, but I didn't want to give up." During his short period at Motown, however, Bruno Mars met fellow songwriter Philip Lawrence, and the two became inseparable. Lawrence was also signed to Motown at the time, but after learning about Mars's condition with the label, he helped him get signed again. They eventually formed a songwriting and producing collective called the Smeezingtons and are responsible for some of the most iconic hits of the late 2000s and early 2010s, including B.O.B.'s Nothin' on You, CeeLo Green's F You, Flo Rida's Keisha featuring Right Round, and more. Their latest co-writing piece was Adele's All I Ask from her Grammy-winning third album, 25. Following his songwriting success, especially with the peak of B.O.B.'s Nothin' on You and Travie McCoy's Billionaire, Mars slowly blueprinted his entrance to the music world as a solo artist. He released his debut EP, It's Better If You Don't Understand, in May 2010. It consists of 4 tracks, Somewhere in Brooklyn, The Other Side, Count on Me, and the classic 2010s minimalistic ballad Talking to the Moon. A few months after that, his debut album Doo-Wops and Hooligans was released. Supported by singles like Just the Way You Are, Grenade, and The Lazy Song, Doo-Wops and Hooligans was a critical success, but it commercially flopped with only 55,000 copies sold within the first week. However, after months of performing and promoting, the album became a classic sleeper hit of 2010's pop and went on to sell over 20 million copies worldwide. Another source of inspiration for the singer has been his girlfriend. Mars and his girlfriend Jessica Caban have been together since 2011, and remain together to this day. They both prefer keeping their relationship relatively private and out of the press and public eye. This way, they can both focus on their professional careers within the entertainment industry. The couple has lived together in a reportedly $6.5 million mansion in Los Angeles with their Rottweiler puppy named Geronimo since 2012. While some fans might be curious as to why Mars does not go by his real name, Peter Gene Hernandez, other fans have another thought. They wonder if the singer's relationship with model and entrepreneur Jessica Cabin inspired him in any way throughout his career. As should be the case, support is a key component in any healthy relationship. Whether you are a celebrity or not, having someone who is there for you through all the highs and the lows is the best partner to have. Both Mars and Jessica have shown lots of love and support toward one another. The same year the couple started dating also happened to be Bruno's breakout year. He climbed up the Billboard charts and has had some of the most listened to songs on Spotify. Bruno also won the Best Male Pop Vocal Performance Award at the Grammys for his hit single Just the Way You Are. When Jessica was interviewed about her boyfriend, she said Bruno is an amazing singer, a great person, and really funny. Every year, Jessica attends the Grammy Awards with Bruno, and he always makes sure to acknowledge her in his acceptance speeches. In 2016, the singer accepted the Record of the Year award at the Grammy Awards for his single Uptown Funk. During his acceptance speech, he forgot to mention Jessica due to being cut off short. So in 2018, when he won Record of the Year again at the Grammy Awards for his song 24K Magic, he made it up to Jessica and made sure to thank her. When it comes to touring, it may be difficult for many couples to maintain a relationship when their partner is away for a long period of time traveling the world. However, the dynamic duo of Bruno and Jessica always find a way to make it work. When Jessica has a few days off, she joins Bruno on tour to support him in what he loves to do, performing for all his adoring fans. At his show in Los Angeles at the Staples Center, Jessica took time to post a picture in front of his poster to show her support for her boyfriend. Like many songwriters, Bruno writes songs based on his personal life. Fans of his songs Just the Way You Are and Marry You are able to determine that they were likely written about and inspired by Jessica. It is Bruno's hit song When I Was Your Man that confuses fans, especially when the singer admitted it was inspired by Jessica as well. Like many couples, the couple has struggles within their relationship. Bruno wrote the song for Jessica when he was worried about the possibility that he might lose her. The two have proven that their relationship can pass any test, even working together. When Mars teamed up to do a sarcastic video short with online comedy video skit group Funny or Die, Jessica also made an appearance in the skit. The video was based on the Salt and Peppa song What a Man. Bruno plays a good guy and protects a woman, played by Jessica, from a burglary happening in the hotel room. Jessica also plays a pregnant girl that Bruno is shown carrying out of a burning building. The Heartthrobs collaborated again in 2016, though this time Jessica was not on the screen. Instead, her swimwear line was. For the 24K Magic music video, the women seen partying in the background were all wearing Jessica's designs from her swimwear line, Caban's J. Marie. Throughout their 10-plus years of dating, Bruno and Jessica have proven that they can get through any obstacle together. They have shown never-ending love and support for both of their careers and have gone to many award shows together. According to those close to him, Mars has been churning out hits since childhood. He wrote his very first song when he was just 4 years old and dedicated it to the most important person in his life, his mother. She told Inquirer Lifestyle that Mars was singing even before he started talking. He also started playing the piano at a young age, according to his mother. "I bought him a piano when he was just 2, she said, and he went on the piano and just started playing tunes, not just banging on it, but he'd play actual tunes. Not only did the pint-sized Bruno write his first song when he was just 4 years old, as mentioned earlier, he was also the youngest Elvis impersonator at the time, which he started doing at just 2 years old as part of his parents' band. That's cute and all, but how big of a deal could it be? Pretty big. He was such a great tiny Elvis that he performed at the 1990 Aloha Bowl and played Little Elvis in 1992's Honeymoon in Vegas, and people loved him. He was featured in the 1990 documentary Viva Elvis and appeared on multiple television segments, like the Pauly Shore MTV segment above. According to Rolling Stone, He appeared on the Arsenio Hall show by the time he was just 6. So why Elvis? In the Viva Elvis documentary, he said, "I like his singing and his dance and his lip," which he then, of course, topped off with his impression of the iconic Elvis lip. The kid was born to be a star. Mars comes from a tight-knit family. He and his mother, Bernadette San Pedro Bayot, were especially close, and her death in 2013 from a brain aneurysm devastated him. In 2017, Mars opened up to Latina about his loss. "The woman who taught you to love showed you what a woman is supposed to be," he said. "When that goes away, a little more than half your heart goes away with it." Mars added that losing his mother showed him the real importance of life and of his loved ones. "My life has changed," he said. "She's more than my music. If I could trade music to have her back, I would. I always hear her say, 'Keep going and keep doing it.'" Better. And there is a reason why he misses his mother that much. Mars might be wildly successful these days, but his life has been far from easy. Some of his childhood years were spent in poverty. At one time, his family was so poor that they crowded into a small home with no bathroom. Despite this, the singer said his childhood was the best in an interview with 60 Minutes. "We had it all," he said. "We had each other." Mars added that there were days when his family didn't have electricity, but they stayed positive, saying, "We're gonna figure it out." "Maybe that's why I have this mentality when it comes to the music," Mars said. "I'm gonna figure it out." Just like back home, school was not always easy for the future star. As a child, his classmates would make fun of his looks, calling him Peter Pan Hima Dingjie. To this day, the singer still hasn't figured out the second part of the nickname. "Even the nerds were calling me that," Mars told Rolling Stone. "Oh man, it was rough. I didn't even want to go to school." After a while, though, Mars won over his schoolmates with his natural charm and became good friends with the people who used to bully him. If Mars's stage presence and smooth singing voice seem effortless, there's a good reason for it. Music is in his blood, and the singer who doubles up as a songwriter grew up performing. As earlier mentioned, his dad was a Latin percussionist and his mom was a hula dancer. Mars told Rolling Stone, "And he put the charm on her." That charm brought together Mars's parents, who collaborated for years in a cover band called the Love Notes. That's the very band that Mars joined as an Elvis impersonator by the time he was 2 years old, and through that he became something of a local celebrity. Today, Mars keeps the family tradition alive. His older brother, Eric Hernandez, plays the drums in Mars's band. Hernandez left his career as a police officer to join the band, saying, I was like, if I don't give this up and I'm watching some other guy play drums for my brother, that's gonna eat me up." Even as a young Elvis impersonator, Bruno Mars didn't go by his birth name, Peter Gene Hernandez. While he hadn't yet adopted the moniker Mars, he was billed in Honeymoon in Vegas as Bruno Hernandez and presented in all his Elvis interviews as Little Bruno. So, where did the name come from? Well, his father gave him the nickname as a young child after the professional wrestler Bruno Sammartino. He said in an interview with Wrap Up, "Bruno is after Bruno Sammartino, who was this big fat wrestler. I guess I was this chunky little baby, so my dad used to call me that as a nickname." He added, during an appearance on the Graham Norton Show on BBC, "Sammartino was a stocky guy and I used to walk around like a little bulldog," my dad said, "so he would always call me Bruno Sammartino." In August 2017, Mars finally had the opportunity to meet his namesake, posting on Instagram, "I was nicknamed after this professional wrestler Bruno Sammartino. Tonight, in Pittsburgh, I had the honor of meeting him. It was apparently a good time for both of them." CBS Sports notes that Sammartino said of meeting Mars, "I hope he's like that in everyday life. He was the most humble, nicest guy. He couldn't have been more respectful." As the son of a Puerto Rican Jewish father and a Filipino mother, Mars has had to work hard to fight off stereotypes. The singer told GQ that in the early years of his career, people would say things like, "Your last name's Hernandez, maybe you should do this Latin music, this Spanish music. Enrique's so hot right now." While the silky dancer didn't want to be forced into a genre of music on the basis of his race, there's no truth to the rumor that he adopted his stage name to hide his heritage. "I never once said I changed my last name to hide the fact that I'm Puerto Rican," he told Latina. "My last name is Hernandez. There's no denying that." Mars took on his last name because it sounds bigger than life. That was it, simple as that, he said about the reason behind his name change. I see people that don't know what I am, and it's so weird that it gets them upset. You're making a business out of these songs that I'm writing, and how are you going to tell me that this song that I'm writing is only going to be catered to Puerto Ricans, or to white people, or only Asian people? How are you going to tell me that? My music is for anybody who wants to listen to it. Above everything else, the music heritage has helped the star deal with haters. His drummer brother is not the only artist among Bruno's siblings. His sisters, Tiara, Tahiti, and Presley Hernandez, and Jaime Kailani Bayo, a cousin who was adopted into the family, are also making a name for themselves in the music business. They're part of a group called the Lilas and landed a reality show in 2013. Like Mars, these women have music in their blood. We all sang for most of our lives, but we sang separately, Tiara told New York Daily News. Singing with a group is a whole different thing. You have to be aware of what the sister next to you is singing, how loud you are, what key you're in. She admitted that it can be challenging having a famous brother because we aren't just getting compared to other female singers, we're getting compared to him. But that's okay, she added. Either way, we have to prove we're good enough on our own. The multi-award-winning vocalist's relaxing croon might indicate that he's an easygoing guy, but in reality, he's a driven perfectionist. I've never seen someone be so meticulous in my entire life when it comes to anything, Ari Levine told Rolling Stone. Levine, who co-founded the songwriting and production team, the Smeezingtons with Mars, knows more than most people just how demanding the star can be. Even when we remodeled our studio, if one thing was off by an inch, it literally would drive him crazy, he said. Mars admitted that he is prone to yelling in rehearsals, but it's all in the interest of creating good music. I always tell everybody that we finally get to enjoy all the hard work that we've done when we play and when we sing, he said. Mars told NME that he often stresses out about the quality of his work. It's stupid things I obsess over, like, are people going to get off the dance floor because I said something stupid about a dragon? He said about his album 24K Magic. For me, this album, I can't do better. Right now, sitting here talking in 2016, I can't do better. Do I hope that we're sitting here in a year and saying that my next album is the best ever? Yeah. But for now, this is it. This is the best I got. And while Bruno Mars has largely managed to avoid scandal, he was arrested for cocaine possession in 2010. As part of his plea deal, he was required to serve 200 hours of community service. Mars later told GQ that the arrest was a reality check for him. I can take this son away from you, young man. That was the lesson. You've slaved away for years and years and years. You've prepped your whole life. It's all you know how to do. You're a kid experiencing life. And that was the lesson. It can all be taken away. Put you in a weird place. Embarrass you. Maybe it's that very lesson that has so far otherwise kept Mars out of the news for anything other than his successes in recent years. In addition to churning out hit songs, Mars is making a name for himself in the alcohol industry. The singer co-founded Selva Ray Rum, which boasts several award winners as part of its line. Selva Ray's accolades have exceeded the goals the founders set to create a white rum that was good enough to drink on the rocks and a natural cacao rum that would change what people expect from a flavored spirit. Did you really expect anything less from Bruno Mars? I mean, this man can write, sing, and dance, but that isn't the end of his talents. In an interview with Just Jared, he revealed that his mother taught him how to cook. His favorite foods reflect his Filipino and Puerto Rican cultural background. Mars said that his mom would cook for him when he was growing up, and that his favorite dish was chicken adobo, the national dish of the Philippines. He also enjoys the Spanish rice made by his paternal grandmother, which he described as yellow rice with olives, peppers, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And well, he is a philanthropist too. You may remember back in November 2013 when the storm known internationally as Haiyan ravaged the Philippines, where it was known as Typhoon Yolanda. CNN called it one of the strongest storms recorded on the planet, and it occurred a month after a 7.1 magnitude earthquake hit the island. Many vulnerable populations lost their homes, and just a few months later, in March 2014, Bruno Mars decided to do what he could to give back to his mother's native Philippines. The Philippine Star outlet reported that, while Mars was in Manila for his Moonshine Jungle tour, he presented the ABS-CBN Lingkod Kapamilya Foundation, Inc.'s Bantai Bata 163 with a donation of $100,000 to assist and care for children affected by the super typhoon and help bring back the esteem and morale of orphans who lost their homes and families. It makes sense that he would want to give back to the kids, as the Philippine Star outlet noted that Mars visited and bonded with the children of Bantai Bata during his first tour to the Philippines 3 years prior. In addition to his monetary donation, the singer was also one of the stars to take part in a charity album for the Philippines after the typhoon. As reported by GMA News, all proceeds for Songs for the Philippines were donated to the Philippine Red Cross, and he didn't stop there. As his celebrity status has increased, so have his charitable donations. In response to the Flint water crisis, wherein cost-cutting measures in Flint, Michigan resulted in water tainted with lead and other dangerous toxins, Mars announced at an August 2017 concert that he donated $1 million to aid the victims in Flint. According to the Detroit Free Press, the Grammy winner announced his donation during a pause in a song toward the end of his concert, dedicating the donation to our brothers and sisters in Flint. In a statement released by the singer, he said, "I'm very thankful to the Michigan audience for joining me in supporting this cause," adding that the passage of time doesn't mean people aren't still in need. Ongoing challenges remain years later for Flint residents, and it's important that we don't forget our brothers and sisters affected by this disaster. As people, especially as Americans, we need to stand together to make sure something like this never happens in any community ever again. But despite all his strength artistically, Mars isn't perfect, and you won't even believe what he's not good at. For someone with as much studio credit as Bruno Mars, you'd think technology would be second nature by now. It turns out we all have bad technology days, and Mars might just have more of them than the average person. If Twitter, called X nowadays, is any indication, it seems to have all started somewhere around December 2011, with a frustrated Mars exclaiming, "Took me an hour to change my icon. You technology." In August 2012, he asked, "What is Instagram?" And in July 2016, he revealed he still didn't know how to change his Twitter photo. Then it all came to a head when, as Teen Vogue reported, his fans started roasting him on Twitter in August 2017 for his frequent use of collages. When Twitter one user said, "Y'all wait until Bruno Mars learns he can add more than one pic in a tweet," Mars responded, "Wait, what?" And the hilarity began. At first, the singer defended his collages against the barrage of teasing, saying, "First of all, there's nothing wrong with my collages. I've received thousands of compliments and I'm looking forward to posting more. Thanks." But eventually, he admitted that his collages aren't so great after all. "It's okay, Bruno, we still love you." Also, funnily enough, the singer admits that he doesn't need a lot of things backstage. You might think that one of the most popular artists of our time might be a bit of a diva. After all, there's lots of talk of expensive taste in his songs, like Lobster Tails, Strawberry Champagne on Ice, and Versace. But when it comes to backstage Bruno Mars, you'd be wrong. During his 2016 appearance on a carpool karaoke segment on The Late Late Show with James Corden, Mars revealed that there are only a few things he really needs backstage. "What do I want in my dressing room?" Mars said. "Some booze, some water, wet wipes." Corden was incredulous and asked, "That's it? Wine and wet wipes?" To which Mars responded, "That's it. That's the next album. Wine and wet wipes." All in all, the singer's fans can expect to see even more hits from Bruno Mars in the future. While the Hawaiian native rarely does interviews, preferring to let his music speak for itself, he told Zane Lowe of radio station Beats One that he wants to be known for his work. "I hope that my music does the talking," he said. "I just want to do music. I don't want to be known for any scandals or controversy. I want to be the guy who brings joy to your life through his music. That's it. And I want to go home, throw on some Netflix, and live a life." Who could argue with that? And tell us in the comments below, what is your favorite Bruno Mars song? And that's it from us today. Until next time, thank you for watching.